Hello and welcome to a new video from the Digital SAT course with me, Mr. Gamal. In this video, we're gonna tackle one of the transition questions, and you can tell that this is a transition question from the question stem here that says the most logical transition. And as I said before, identifying the question stem or the question type from the question stem is very important because it helps you get to know how to tackle the question based on its own type or its own category. So since this is a transition, so even before looking at the text in here, I can tell that the text gives two sentences and every single sentence presents an idea. So the first sentence here presents an idea, and the second sentence with the blank presents another idea. And your task is to identify the relationship between the two ideas presented in the two sentences, and after that you will look at the answer choices so you can pick a transition that can convey the relationship between the two ideas presented by the sentences. Let's put this into practice. So the first sentence here says, organisms have evolved a number of surprising adaptations to ensure their survival in adverse conditions. This is the first idea in the first sentence. So we can summarize this by saying that organisms have a number of adaptations. The second sentence says, tadpole shrimp embryos blank can pause development for over 10 years during extended periods of drought. Okay, so here in the second sentence we can say that the idea presented here gives a specific example to the general idea presented in the first sentence. So having this in mind, I'm gonna go to the answer choices so I can pick one of the transitions that can convey how to give an example. So letter A says in contrast. For sure this is not correct because in contrast illogically tells us that there is a contradiction between the two ideas presented in the two sentences, which is not the case in here. So in contrast is not correct. B here is for example, which is a very good match to our prediction because it helps us say that the idea in the second sentence gives a specific example to the general idea presented in the first sentence, which is the correct answer. So the correct answer choice here is B. And also we're gonna go through the other two answer choices. Meanwhile also is not correct because meanwhile means that the two actions presented in the two sentences happen at the same time, which is not the case in here. So C is not correct. And finally D is also not correct because consequently tells us that there is a cause and effect relationship between the two ideas, or it tells us that the idea presented in the second sentence is resulted from the idea presented in the first sentence, which is not the case in here. So B is the correct answer choice for this question. And that's all. And thank you so much. See you soon in a new video.